We seem to want to know. We always want to know with certainty. We don't always want to, but I think the Western world at large, has taken a very firm stance in truth and facts and the ability to know or not know something for certainty, with certainty. I look first at the medical field. I look specifically at mental diagnosis. I find the current state of mental health and its institutions to be insufficient. And that is because they believe themselves to be sufficient. That's not like touted on a mountaintop, it's not put on a placard anywhere, but the implication that our mental health institutions provide is that they are the end all be all, know all of mental health, which is when anyone thinks about the brain, what do they think of? Do they understand the brain? Do they understand its complexities? We're trying and trying and trying. We're researching and researching and researching, but so much of this shit is assumptive. And while I have my own personal truths about psychological alignments, stereotypes of the way certain people act and certain things, these are again only a rule of thumb. These are not me knowing these things for fact. I might live as if I know them. I may act like when I know a person is seemingly under a great deal of stress, I will act a bit more cautious and safe and calm around them to help be a body of peace to help reduce their stress. If I'm with somebody who's talking about out of this world things, their train of thought I can't even follow because they're so, quote, psychotic, as the mental health institution might call them. I get on board with this person. I start saying crazy things myself. I start letting them feel heard and appreciated and not demonified for having an imagination that they can't escape. You know, the what would happen with that person who's living on the street if they are confronted by an officer or someone walks by them and feels uncomfortable because they don't understand what they're talking about and calls the local mental health clinic to say, hey, you need to go check out this person. I don't think they're safe for our society. And then this person inadvertently advertently gets placed into a mental home, a mental health institution. What happens to this person while they're there? They're tested. They're given various prescription drugs that ultimately turn them into something closer to what society needs to live within the rat race, to go to a 40-hour-a-week job. These people would be living fine and dandy if there wasn't the inherent necessity as cast on them by the outside world that they need to be more like us. Who gets the right to say that? What psychologist, what psychiatrist, what mental health doctor gets the right to say, you don't deserve to live in this world the way that you're living? Albeit your entire life experience is what's created this person who knows the numerous points of conditioning, points of trauma, points of stress and difficulty that have created this psychosis. Those points are maybe considered under the review, the mental health review. Maybe those points are considered to further embolden the fact that they are psychotic and, quote, clinically psychotic, inescapably psychotic, chronically psychotic. Like, who has the fucking jurisdiction? I don't understand it. I don't know people. I like to think that I do. But at the end of the day, there are so many outliers and there's so much complexity in our billions upon billions of humans. And so, like, when we have someone come up in a court of law, I'm bouncing over to law now, to our judicial system. We have a person who has committed a crime and we look to previous cases to identify why they might have done that. We're looking for patterns. We're looking for other people who have done something similar to what we think this person did. And then this person went about this thing that was considered a crime, potentially with good intentions, potentially unknowing of the fact they were committing a crime, but because they weren't aware of some societal constructs, some laws that they needed to be made aware of before doing that, and they were just going about living their lives, and then they're cast as a lawbreaker, as a bad person. Now, the only examples I have about this are not direct. They're through hearsay and through media, but the cases of... that's a tough one. I don't have a good example for that. I do not have a good example for that. So I'm going to stick to the point at hand, and just hope that you'll hear the point that I'm making, which is we can't know people. We can't know all people. There will always be outliers. I am an outlier. I live my life without considering the systems first. I live as a human does. I just live like my human life and am met with systems. I was born into this system, and it's a requirement that I play the system. I play the game in order to thrive. What does that thrive look like? Getting a paycheck every week? Getting a 401k when I'm older? What? How is that human life? How is that human life? Where is the worth in that? Where's the personal individual choice in that? It's not there. It's absent. Yeah, we get personal choice in which fucking job we want to work. We get personal choice in which career path we want to take. At what age? How many kids, 18, funneled directly into university, choosing something that they're going to undoubtedly change their minds about within 5 years? You know, who doesn't? Who doesn't change their mind, or who doesn't suffer through their chosen career path? I would wager that it's a small percentage. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure there are a lot of people that have chosen their career path, have loved it since day one, and are so happy that they got that opportunity to choose something so long lasting and important to them. Major celebration for those people, because that's not easy, and that's definitely not the norm. They are the outliers in what makes the career path look good. But again, these are only outliers. How can we take the outlier and extrapolate that out to an entire body of people? It's what we do when we take these who break the laws, or these who have mental health problems, and we say that these outliers and their specific tendencies are then extrapolated out to the rest of the world, to the rest of the body of people. And then when we do that, more outliers come. You get what I'm getting at? There's always more outliers. There's always somebody who doesn't fit the bill. There's always somebody who doesn't fit the construct. So why are the constructs necessary? That's my question today. Why are constructs necessary? And why do we feel the need to feel so righteous about our years and years of research? It seems easy. We've put in all this time, all this work. We must have a good answer. We have it better than ever before, for sure. And I'm so in support of continuing to study the human, study the brain, study the body, what it looks like, how it works. These are questions I want answered too. But to take those learnings, that knowledge, and to shove that onto people as though it's fact, because the scientific method was included? Come on, the scientific method in and of itself implies that it's endless. The scientific method in and of itself implies that it's continual forever, because there's always going to be more to test, more to hypothesize, more to research, more to understand and combine with or supersede previous knowledge. It's a continuation. It doesn't just stop because we made the discovery. Oh, well, that's what psychosis is. We're going to give them this pill and make them a numb fucking blob of human flesh that doesn't do anything but drool all day so that we don't have to worry about them anymore. How weak, how lazy, how reductive of the complexity of the human. I'm not okay with it. And I believe that our addiction to facts are a massive, massive wound that our society is trying to heal some ways, but is also just ripping the scab off every fucking day. Every day. So I question to you, what do you need to know? And with that knowledge, do you need to cast that knowledge on others? How can we share our knowledge without commanding anything of anyone else? How can we share our knowledge in a way that meets the knowledge of others to create new knowledge? This is my offering today. I come with no demands. I come with simple requests to consider what mental health is seen as, what mental health experts believe they are allowed to cast down upon others, and what does that mean to you? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the state of individuals in our mental health institutions? Have you ever heard stories or seen videos of the way that they are treated in our mental health institutions? I'm sure there are many outliers that are great and do a wonderful job. But it's not enough. We need majority or all mental health institutions to be looking at preventative measures, at healing the wounds of these people, not with substances that simply band-aid that person's side effects of their deeper issue. Any mental health problem, chemically imbalanced or not, has a pathway towards integration within our society. But that pathway cannot exist until there's a place for them in our society. A place that doesn't turn them into mush. Why not a playground? Why not a created city for people with bipolar disorder, with psychosis, with dementia? Give them a life that coincides with the life they want. Make their dream world a fucking reality. Let them live a happy human life that we don't understand, that we could never understand. Let's research that. Let's take that knowledge and use that to learn how we can be more expansive and caring about all people. How can we do that? I've continued long enough asking more and more questions. I love to ask questions. So, I appreciate you listening. And if there is something that you believe needs to be done, or you believe needs to be talked about with the way we treat the outliers of our society, I'd love to hear about it. Please leave a comment. Please shoot me a message. And most of all, just keep thinking. Keep talking with your friends. Love you. Have a good day.